Oh dear. Yes, it's that time again. We are here up in let's just drop this down a bit. We're up at fucking Northwich, that's where we're at. Northwich. And I'm in the queue, parked up. I've already sorted the trailer out, ready to get on a bay when they want me on there. Yesterday, I had all the intentions of giving you a little bit of a chat yesterday, but I just didn't have the chance to, because I started about 5:30, and I had to go down to Bridgend to do a CPC course, well, part one. And the guy that was supposed to have taken me down there was snoring his fucking head off, wasn't you, Dan? Yes, you was snoring your head off in La La Land while I was in the frigging car park waiting to get a lift down to Bridgend. But luck would have it, our lad Matt was on his way down the same place as well, but he had to deliver to Mega first, so I jumps in with him and off we go. I don't really want to be doing this again though, because the CPC itself is like 7 hours, but I end up having to do 15 frigging hours, because obviously you got the time to get down there and the time to get back, and on the way back was a bunch of fun, because I was given a truck and trailer to take up, but the ABS was flashing up red on the trailer, so I had to drive around the loop to come back. Went in, had the fuses checked, which I said to the fitter, I've already done that. He checked the ABS lead, I'd already done that. So then he swaps the ABS lead, and I took off, and I'm thinking that ain't gonna work. So went back out again, same point, got just before the island, the first one, and the ABS lead come back on again. So I had to do the loop again, come back, and then I changed trucks, and I thought, well, okay, change trucks then. So I changed the truck and took off again, same place, red ABS, and I'm like, I can't keep doing this. I'm running out of time. I need to get gone. So obviously, as I'm driving past the yard, because you're going to go up and back around again, I'm phoned up saying, look, I'm on my way back again because it's still on red. I says, I'm either going to have a car or I'm going to have to go solo. And he says, oh, okay, as I thought he said anyway, but beside the point. So on the third and final attempt, I've just pulled in, dropped the trailer and fucked off and went home solo. And then at 20, because I mean I'd been off, I got to junction 30, well I was sort of like mile marker junction 34, and at this point I'd already lost like 50 minutes worth of driving just to that point, you know what I mean, because of the constant looping around and whatever. It fucking chewed me drive time away. And he phones up and he says, your OHF is ready to go now. I says, mate, I says, I'm on my way. I says, I've got VRT and I'm gone. I'm just coming to 34. I'm have to come out solo. I can't hang around. I've got no time, none whatsoever. It was a bit of a shit, really. And I think to myself, if I'm going to do another one down there, I'm going to have to go in the car. It's as simple as that, because I ain't going to fuck about doing that shit. That's nonsense, absolute nonsense. And the CPC thing itself, I mean, obviously we did the first lot, because it was all brand new when the first lot come around. And they've updated the CPC, the bit that I've done, which is once again fucking Boris's bike bullshit. And the only thing that really annoys me is the fact that we're the ones that are having to learn about cyclists and learn about what they do. I'm like, but why the fuck should we? At the end of the day, I mean, I don't see the point. It just bored the piss out of me. It really did. It's fucking boring, absolutely boring. And it showed you, there was one of those you know, the scare videos of a poor lass who was killed in an incident between a HGV and a cyclist, And at least they had one where the HGV driver didn't get blamed for it. Like, you know, it's still sad in all aspects of doing, because nobody wants to go to work or go along their day and end up dead. Nobody does, right? I understand that bit, but the bit that I noticed through the whole presentation of the video parts of it and what have you, and is that not one video, whether it be a live video or a computer generated CGI version, was they demonstrating any of these incidences with HGV class 1 vehicles. It was all rigid vehicles and tippers at that. And I'm thinking, well, you've got all this set up, it's all on the screen, but what about the vehicles that we actually drive? I mean, it's showing you the way that they're turning left round a T-junction or a crossroads, like, you know, and how much room they're going to give. And it's the computer-generated CGI version, which, to be honest with you, it's not realistic. It's not even close to realistic. And they're showing all these different ways that the cyclists can do this and do that. I'm thinking, yeah, with like 3 or 4 cars dotted about here, why not add at least another fucking 300 or 400 cars and a shitload of pedestrians to make it more realistic? But it's not. It's just crap, and that's my opinion, and I'm sticking to it. It was rubbish, absolute rubbish. And they had us riding around the frigging the car park, the first part of it, on the push bikes again, like, you know, and doing all that. And I'm like, but what's the point? We're not the ones who've got to worry about the fucking what they do. You know, they should be there being more wary of what we're doing, because we can't see fucking everything. You know what I mean? This is the bit that gets on my tits. It really does. It's annoying. I mean, like I've said before, with some of the vehicles that we've got now, we're having these this audible system fitted for the left-hand indicator. But as I pointed out, I said to the guy that was doing the bike thing, I says, if you're classing yourself as a so-called professional cyclist, right, and you're supposed to know all your stuff, I mean, ain't it really a bad thing to have all this put in place because people are so stupid that they can't see a flashing amber light on the side of a truck, or they just completely ignore it? I mean, if it's turning left, it's turning left. Why would you want to go down there in the first place? I mean, that to me is just simple common sense. Regardless to where the cycle paths are painted, right, shouldn't even come into it. Yes, I know there's a cycle path that will go down the side of a truck, even at a junction. But when you see that light flashing, I mean, since when does that say, oh, it's okay to go down the side of a truck, even though he wants to turn fucking left because he has? I mean, I don't get that. But now what we've had to do, we've had to accommodate for stupid, right, by having... they've got those the fucking round signs, aren't they, on the back that flash with lights on it and what have you. They've also got the audible ones where it tells us, caution, this vehicle is turning left. Caution. I mean, all this has been put on the driver, but what about educating the fucking numbskulls that decide to ignore the first warning in the start place, right? That fucking flashing light on the left-hand corner of the vehicle. And then you've got the fucking... some of the HGVs have even got the trailer lights that'll flash as well at the same time. They've even got you've got side repeaters on the side of the vehicle. They'll flash as well. Then you've got the front one. They'll flash. I mean, that's, to me, is enough warning, but unfortunately it's not, is it? You know what I mean? Because it's just the fact that they keep getting flattened. But the guy who was doing the cycle part of it, I mean, he was all right. He wasn't too bad, and he did state that even though all this is still coming through and what have you, and we're having to do all this cycle proficiency crap, he did mention that the actual fatalities and serious injuries have dropped. Before all this was coming, it was coming down anyway, you know what I mean? But they've put it all in place as another one of those, oh, now we've got to do something. Yeah, I mean, I will say this much, I am thankful that I don't actually have to drive around London. I wouldn't want to be fair, right? To be honest with you, I would not want to be any kind of driver through London, right? Because it's just far too compact with far too many people on there, and there's just not enough room. As simple as that. I mean, until people get that concept in their head, it's always going to have problems down there. There's just not enough room. Simple as. But the grand scheme of it all, that first module I've done now with this next stage of CPC crap, at least it's out of the way, and we'll move on to something different. But if I'm going to go back down there again, I'm doing Boris's bike for the fucking second time, that'll be it. I shall just say, no, you can either sign me off now so I can go off on my way and get back home, because I'm not going through this shit again. I've done fucking 35 hours of it last time. 35 fucking hours of Boris's bikes. I mean, fuck's sake. It's enough to send you insane. I mean, it does my head in enough as it is. But, I don't know. But other than that, I got back in the yard. It was around about 8:15 last night, and by the time I got out the yard, it was 20 past-ish, just after. So I managed to get back with just in the 15. I'm pissed off about as well, but luckily today, which was nice of them, I've had a 7:30 start, and I've got this, and I'm off to Earlham in a bit. So, well, it depends how long I'm here for, mind you. But yeah. But other than that, how are you lot doing? Are you alright? Having fun, are you? I've started a bit of a debate on the old YouTube. I was watching this video, right? I ain't gonna say what the video was. It's not worth it. But the comments I've been getting on it, because I've sort of stirred up a debate, and this stemmed from, right? You know, I like to do a bit of YouTube skipping now and again. I was watching this what would you call this? Is it a debate? No, not a debate. A conference? Not a conference. A lecture. That'll be the word I'm looking for. There was this old dude, right? And this old guy had got his presentation all up there, like, I know he's got his computers and he's got his screens, right? And I think he's a Swedish scientist. He's been a scientist for forever. You know what I mean? This guy is like super smart, but he didn't come across in this lecture as being a cocky twat, right? He just points out simple facts as what the information is given. And the bit that he went on about was to do with the so-called global warming scaremongering, and the greenhouse effect, all that sort of shit, and the fact that the CO2 levels are too high. And I was quite interested in it, because I'm thinking, hey, so we've got somebody here who's actually going to give us some truths of it all, right? Because I know there's a lot of bits and bobs if you hunt through the old internet, that you'll find that you'll have some certain group of people say, "Oh, we're killing the planet," blah blah. But you have the other people, they've come across a little bit more saner than those idiots, and say, "Well, yeah, the Industrial Revolution has only been just over 250 years." And if you're so naive to think that we can kill the planet in 250 years, you need to fucking sit back and have a bit of a think, you know what I mean? Because it's just not going. And with that in mind, like, I'm like, well, now have I got this right? Is it Hawaii? Is that right? Hawaii? Is that right? Does that sound right? There's a place called Hawaii, isn't there? Because it's a Hawaii 5-0, isn't it? Yeah. Isn't that the place where they got that volcano that's been erupting for X amount of days, weeks, whatever it is now? And they mentioned that this thing was spewing out toxic gases and all sorts of bollocks, right? I'm like, oh, right. Okay, fair enough. So that's spewing out, and obviously it's not good for the people who live there. It's rather tragic as well, because obviously people are losing homes and whatever. This lava that's being spewed out all over the place, and all the cloud, smoke, gases and all sorts of shit. But, you know, and I think to myself, well, that's just one example, right, of now that we've got a volcano. We've had volcanoes of such like that have erupted and caused problems. I think there was one that was in Finland, Iceland or something. There was a volcano up there in Sweden. There was a volcano that was up there that went pop. and it shot such a fucking huge amount of crap into the atmosphere that it grounded all the flights from America because this cloud of shit that came flying over. My question is this: where is that cloud of shit now? Oh, that's right, it's been dissipated, it's now been absorbed in the fucking atmosphere, it's gone, right? It's no longer here because there's planes flying through the sky now and they're not being grounded because of it. Well, that was a while ago, that one was, but this is my point. When it comes to all those things that we do, to think that we are going to be the downfall of the planet, that's how they're trying to scare you into it all, that we're doing this and we're doing that and we're going to fucking... and ultimately kill the planet off. I'm like, to be honest with you, with the grand scheme of things, I believe that we won't be here long enough to cause that anyway. I don't think so. There's more than likely we'll either one of two solutions. One, will either wipe ourselves out anyway, and for whatever reason. But yes, the planet might be bruised and battered, but as the time progresses, right, it will find a way to rejuvenate itself, and we won't be here, but it'll be fine. That's the thing that I don't understand, why, you know, they go on about the greenhouse effect, and it's the planet's... According to this guy, the temperature, the regulated temperature of this planet is so incredibly accurate over the amount of thousands upon thousands of years that have gone by, that it's increased by 0.8%. It's like there's nothing that we can do that could ever be that accurate through that amount of time. And when he went on about the fact that people are going on about CO2 levels are getting too high and it's causing all this shit, he says, well, CO2 levels. There's another thing. He says, realistically, the planet needs CO2. We need CO2. We actually breathe in CO2. It's a small amount, but we do expel a lot of it, along with oxygen, and we have the nitrogens. There's all the little bits and pieces are in there. And he says that if you're trying to reduce the amount of CO2 in the world, there's realistically you're going to be starving the foliage. It's a plant life that you're actually starving them out. And when I seen this other video on the when I put that comment on. I says, yes, do.
One, mate, after DHL.
Cool. And as soon as I seen this video, and it was going to be global warming and the ice caps, this and what have you, and I was referring to remembering this little conference or lecture this guy was giving. And I thought, oh, that sounds cool. And they're going, oh, too much CO2, it's going to kill the world, blah, blah. I'm thinking, oh, fuck, here we go again. So that's what I'll just put a little comment. It says, yeah, CO2 is so high, it's brilliant, it's killing everything. Oh, wait, what do plants live on? CO2. Oh, man, the debate is going. It's great, little bit of debate, honestly. It says, do you know anything about biology? Why don't you shut up? You know, I'm thinking, well, I'm only going on what I've heard. I don't know nothing about biology, but I do know that plants do live on CO2. I mean, all of them do. And then there's been a bit of a debate, and so far the consensus is that what I mentioned about the CO2 levels being too low, and it can affect plant growth and what have you. That seems to be the consensus at the moment of my little thing there. So you got the die-hard fucking global fucking warming idiots, and then the majority have actually come up with some reasonably good explanations as to the reasons that yes, this climate change is a big scam and whatever, you know. And it's quite cool that they're going on about it, you know. I thought, actually, because I have put stuff on before where I've been really slammed, like on these odd videos, but this one has actually come up with some really decent thoughts and ideas and actual comments that are worthy of whatever been put on there. But yeah, I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you think that in the past 250 years that we have killed the planet, or killing the planet? I mean, there's many people out there, smart people out there, who have said many times that these scientists that give you the information, they go through a certain route first, like they'll go through the government's route first, and then they'll filter out all the stuff that may lead to, say, a bit of a common sense answer, and then say, well, if we do it this way, people will be frightened into doing this, and we can make a shitload of money out of them. And that's pretty much what ended up happening. I mean, I remember watching something years ago about climate change, and there's a bunch of these scientists that sort of rebelled against the government body, if you like, and they were saying that when you actually look at the original facts of all this climate changes and the core sampling they did from the ice, one of this is none of what they've been telling the public are actually true. It's all half truths, you know what I mean? It's not the full information. And you know, when they say that the polar caps are melting, right? Which one are they referring to? North or south, right? Because according to this guy who's doing this little lecture, he says that yeah, they might be reducing up this end, but down here there's more ice than there's ever been. You know, balancing it all itself out. I mean, it really, I look at this planet as more of a living organism, I do, and we're along for the ride. It will do as it pleases, right? Whatever it wants to do, it'll do, right? We're just around here for the ride of it. We are. It allows all these different creatures to survive, to do what it needs to do for the planet. It allows the planet to have its greenery and the foliage and plant life. It allows all that to do whatever. I mean, you've only got to look back at fucking billions of years ago. I mean, we've got our oceans that are teeming with. We don't even know fucking that much of what's under there. We've got no fucking clue because we can't get to it. You know what I mean? We don't know it. We know so little about this planet, realistically, when you put it all into context, because we only look at what's on the ground that we can actually get to. There's bits and pieces of the oceans we've been down to, but we've not actually covered the whole lot. So there's shit down there that we just don't know about. So how can they turn and say that we're gonna kill it? I mean, the oceans themselves can expel certain fucking gases off it. I mean, the trees themselves can expel certain kinds of gases of it. Cows farting in fields can expel certain kind of gases on it. And believe it or not, the more that we breathe, we expel fucking all sorts of gases as well. So it's a combination of everything, realistically, but it all works as a harmonised system. It really does. I think it does. I don't see any kind of problem with what we're doing, whether we fossil fuel burning or whatever kind of new fucking deal of energy we do come across. I don't know. I haven't got a clue. But I speculate. I love to give sort of like these little snippets of theories out there, you know what I mean? So that you lot can have a chew on and see what you think, you know? I like to do that. Because then it comes up with an interesting idea. It's like, well, realistically, how is it that you think, if you're some sort of a seriously intelligent person, can sit there and say that with the tinchy-winchy bit of time that we have actually been able to do what we do, right, that we're going to kill it within X amount of time? There was one, well, that was, the so-called elite, if you like. There was on this, like a panel. Oh, he was fucking fuming. He was absolutely fuming because this woman was going about the fact that this particular guy with his corporations and his whatever is destroying this and he just ripped the shit out of her. And the bit that made me laugh, the bit that he actually hit on, was the fact that he says this fucking climate warming is absolute bullshit. He says it's fucking absolute, but it's the biggest scam ever fucking conceived. And the only thing that pisses me off is that I didn't think of it first. And I'm like, this guy's cool. And he says, do you really think if we're going to kill the planet in fucking 30, 40 years that you'd have yourself a fucking mortgage over 30, 40 years? No! There's no bank in the world to give you a fucking loan because they know full well that you're going to be here to pay it back. So obviously it proves that the fucking world's going to be here in fucking 100, 200, 300, 500,000 fucking... It doesn't make no difference. And he was giving off on one. And I thought that was a hilarious idea. That was brilliant. Oh dear. But... when he said that small little bit, though, thinking to yourself, do you know what? That's not a bad thought, actually, when you think about it, is it really? If the climate was going to end up killing the planet in X amount of years and quicker than what we're supposed to think, how would the banks give you a 30, 40-year loan, whichever it is, you know? How? Because if that was the case, they'd never get the money back. Not all of it, anyway. Yeah, that's a thought to think about, as soft as it sounds, you know what I mean? But, oh dear. Well, so I've just been reading the comments on that one about the old global warming and the ice caps are melting and all that sort of crap. I'm like, yeah, okay. Whatever. I mean, if you've only got to think of it, if we do have these ice caps melting, I mean, within 100 years, the ice caps are going to be melted, and that's it. Well, I think he laid it out. It says in a 1 metre rise, the shores of Florida will be gone. 2 metres higher than what it is now, they reckon that most of us would be gone, and then 5 and 7 metres, basically a lot of the smaller places would be fucking completely wiped out, like, you know what I mean? But no, I mean, I've never really bought into that concept of climate change and global warming, because I think to myself, well, we're on this planet and we're here for just that little journey that we spend, right? Some of us are lucky to have a real long life, and some of us only have a short one. But to think that what we actually do is going to end up destroying the planet, I just can't see it. I'll be honest with you. I think personally that many thousands of years before anything that would ever cause a little tilt for the sake of like the fossil fuel burning, I think we'll have something well and truly set in motion and in place to replace all of the fossil fuel kind of stuff anyway. So yeah, I can't see it. I just can't. It just doesn't make any sense to me. It really don't. I mean, a few of you out there might disagree, but that's entirely up to you. I mean, it's all your opinion, and it's the same as mine, isn't it? So you draw your own conclusions. That's all I ever do. I mean, I'll pick all the bits of information that I can find that some might seem a bit out there, some might seem, you know, plausible, some might seem, you know, spot on and right on the money, like. But you've got to go through all of it to try and put together these little bits and bobs to find out whether or not, you know, the truth is actually there. It's in bits, but you've got to put it together. But yeah, I just think to myself that one day the truth will come out. One day. Oh, well done. I really do think that. But as far as it is now, they're going to keep pushing their agendas and make it so that you know, people get nervous of doing this and doing that. But yeah. I mean, look at it now. I mean, the fucking sky out there is blue as blue can be. There's a couple of wispy clouds. It's lovely sunshine. It's great. I mean, you can't see because I'm stuck in this back hole here where there's trees covering it all, but it's lovely. Beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful day. And the reason my thoughts on the reason why temperatures seem to fluctuate for us, and the fact that it seems a bit out of whack, it's got nothing to do with climate change. It's more than likely got something to do with the planet's own cycle, because humanity has only been on the planet for what is it, I don't know, maybe a million years. Maybe. I mean, they've been finding fossilised bones that could well prove that that a sort of human species existed that long ago. But as far as we know, civilization could only be around about what, a few thousand years. You know what I mean? The Egyptians, for argument's sake, 10,000 odd years. But you know what I'm getting at, though. I mean, just for some unknown reason, I feel that we are being lied to when it comes to all that kind of nonsense, and there's no need for it. There really ain't. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Is he going to come off there or what? So I'm waiting for Bay 1. I mean, if the planet itself is on its own cycle and we're just along for the ride, and there's been no documentation of its previous cycles, and they seem rather dramatic, but we've got no real baseline data to actually go off that, so we're making the conclusions or the assumptions that, oh, it's dying. Nah, get off of you. Nah. As a matter of fact, I think this we are quite extremely lucky, because it's a unique spot to be in it. I mean, elements have had to align themselves in just that right spot on time and place and what have you for life to begin in the first place, you know what I mean? I mean, if you're religious, you might believe there's a big creator that's gone, oh, wheezy, wheezy, let's get busy, bing, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, no, I don't believe it either. Yeah. Far too much time has gone by to say that it's been created by magic. No, I don't get that at all. I don't believe all that shit. Things evolve. I mean, you've only got to look at the way that DNA evolves. Did you know that DNA evolves to the environment that you live in? Yes, that's what it does. It will adapt, it will change, it will mutate into a sort of a different kind of mishmash of what it was originally, to deal with the environment of this planet you're living on. So, if you're living if your species, if you moving through the planet, different climates and what have you, if you're in a colder environment, you might end up with a thicker, like a blubbery, fatty kind of, skinny kind, but your body adapts to it. Hotter climates, the melanin in your skin becomes more permanent. You know, your body will adapt. So if your DNA can evolve and adapt to just the climate of the fucking planet, imagine what what can actually evolve and become over millennium, millions upon millions of years of just bubbling up and festering. So that's how I look at it anyway. Right, I'm going to go because I want to get this lot sorted out, and I'll speak to you all later. Have a good day. Bye.